The teachings of Rabbi Rav Sprecher, Dean of Students at Diaspora Yeshiva on Mount Zion, Jerusalem.
Today we'll speak about what is Judaism's take on birthdays. Should we celebrate a birthday or should we ignore it? What is Yahadut's view on birthdays? We read a couple of weeks ago, Pasha Shalach, Amalek attacks us, and Moshe tells Yeshua ben Nun, B'char lanu anashim, choose for us men. We're not up to the sheets yet, I'll tell you when. A few weeks ago we read in Pasha Shalach, first terrorist attack in history. Amalek attacks the Jewish people, and Moshe tells Yeshua ben Nun, B'char lanu anashim, choose for us men to go fight Amalek. So the Talmud Yerushalmi in Rosh Hashanah chapter 3, when Amalek attacked and Moshe told Yeshua, choose for us men, which men did he choose to go to the front to fight? So the Talmud Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah, men whose birthday it was. Choose for us men who today is your today is your birthday. Because when it's a person's birthday, says the Talmud Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah, you have special mazel that will protect the person in Makam Sakana. You just Talmud Yerushalmi, Moshe? Chapter 3. When the war breaks out, which men should go to the front? Those men that it's their birthday today, because on your birthday, says Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah, you have a special mazel that will protect you in a Makam Sakana. So that's pretty incredible that the Talmud Yerushalmi Rosh Hashanah says that. What's Lubavitcher Rebbe's take on birthdays? Let me read you what Lubavitcher Rebbe says, Abraham. In one of his Farbrings he said, birthday is a special occasion to rethink your life. How great is the disparity between what I have accomplished and what I can yet accomplish? A birthday, says the Rebbe, can also teach us the concept of rebirth or born again. To recall our birth is to recall a new beginning. No matter how things went yesterday or last year, we always have the capacity and the ability to rejuvenate and renew ourselves. So that's Rabbi Rebbe's take on a birthday, and therefore he would celebrate his birthday. Birthday is a special time, he says, to reevaluate. We'll see soon your life, how is it going, and where we're moving. So what does Judaism say about a birthday? Is it better to be born or not? We'll talk about that soon. The Talmud debates between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. We'll see soon a strange Gemara, whether it's better for a person to be born or not to have been born. But before we get to that debate, there's an amazing pasuk in Koheles chapter 4. You don't have it on your sheets, but I'll read it to you. Koheles chapter 4 says as follows, V'shabeach hametim min hachayim. I praise those people that are dead more than the living. V'tov mishneim, says Koheles, and better than both, the dead and the living, ashaden lahoya, is someone who was never born in the first place. You hear this? So what kind of debate is there? I mean, what Beit Shammai and Hillel debating whether it's better for a person to be born or not? There seems to be an open pasuk in Koheles chapter 4. The Shabeach hametim min hachayim. I praise the dead more than the living. The Tov mishneim, and better than both of them, says Koheles, ashaden lahoya, someone that was never, sounds pretty depressing, no, Abraham? So the answer is, he's speaking about Rishoyim. A wicked person, of course, it's better for him not to have been created. But a tzaddik will see, of course, for him, it's much better to have been created. So Koheles is only speaking about the wicked people. For them, it's better not to have been created. All the damage and evil they do to others and themselves. But a righteous person, of course, for him, it's what? Much better to have been born. So let's take a look what the sources say about celebrating birthdays. Why celebrate a birthday? Let's look at side number 2 in our sheets. Should we celebrate a birthday? Why celebrate a birthday? A person lost an additional year from his lifespan. So what's to celebrate? But one who filled the year with mitzvahs and ma'asim tovim, he has a right to enjoy his birthday. Why? Because we're celebrating. Yes, you lost a year of your life, but in exchange for 1 year of your temporary life, you've traded in 1 year of Chayeshah, and what did you gain, Avraham? Chai Olam. It's a good investment.
Where are you reading from?
I'm not up to the sheets yet. I'm reading from my head. I'm not up to the sheets yet. But I just want to say, even though one lost an additional physical year of life on earth, but you fill that year with mitzvahs and ma'asim tovim, you should celebrate, because in exchange for 1 temporary year, how do you say temporary? Chayeshah, you have traded in for what? For 1 year of Chaya Olam. So you're moving on up. So let's take a look at side number 2, source number 10. Tani Rabbanan. Side number 2, source number 10. The rabbis learned, this is in Tractate Eruvin, page 13. We could read it in the English, it'll go faster. No, Avram, you see that? Source number 10. This is on Tractate Eruvin. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argued for years on the issue, I'm reading side number 2, source 10, or whether it would have been easier for a person to have been created or not. Let's read the English, the Hebrew. Torah Rabbanan, Shtei Shalom Mechza Nechza Beis Shammai Beis Hillel. Noach Odom Shloim Nivra. Noach, what does Noach mean? Would it be more comfortable if a person had been created or not created? So one says Noach Odom, it would be more comfortable if a person had been created, and the other one says it would be better not to have been created. Okay? But Achshav Shenivra, but now that he's created, what should he do? Yifafesh b'maisav. He should search his deeds. Okay? So let's take a look at the English. Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argued for years on the issue of whether it would have been easier. Noach means easier for a person to have been created or not. At the end of that argument, the Gemara states, Nimna v'gamru. They counted and they decided. What does that mean? They counted and decided. They counted up how many positive mitzvahs they are. Avram, how many positive mitzvahs are there? There are only 248. How many negatives are there?
365.
So it's much easier to mess up than to do good. There are only 248 ways to do good. But there are 365 ways to be bad. So therefore, they counted and they figured it would have been better for a person not to have been created, because it's much easier to sin. It would have been easier for a person not to have been created, but now that he's created, what should he do? Search his deeds. So it doesn't say Tov. Look at source number 10. Does it say Tov la'adam shloim nivra? Chav, it doesn't say Tov. It says what? Noach. Because it's good that we're born. But Noach, it would have been easier not to have been born. But now that we're born, of course, it's good because we have a chance to do so much good and to accomplish. Nachon? The Talmud in Sota says that a person cannot get to Olam Haba unless he's born. Therefore, Miriam said to her father, Abba, your decree is worse than what? Paroi. Because Paroi, if he kills the baby can still go to Olam Haba. But you, by preventing children to be born, the neshama never came down to earth. It can never go to Olam Haba. It's a Gemara in Sota, page 12, that the very fact that a person is born, no matter how long he lives, that's his ticket to Olam Haba. But if the neshama was never born, it cannot reach its station in Olam Haba. So therefore, it doesn't say Tov. Of course it's good that we're born. But Noach, it would have been easier not to have been born. So Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel argued, I'm reading source number 10 in English, on the issue of whether it had been easier for man to have been born or not. So this doesn't look like a halachic. We know Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, they only debate halachic issues. This is not a halachic issue, is it? It's a hashkafa, how do you say hashkafa? It's a philosophical issue.
It's outlook.
So
It's
it's outlook of what is debating about. Shammai and Hillel, they debate halacha. This is hashkafa. At the end of the argument, the Gemara states, Nimnu v'gamru, they counted and they decided. They paskin that it would have been easier if a person not to have been born. Not good, but easier. So what has it got to do with halacha? What has it got to do with halacha? Very strange. Look at source number 11. The Pri Megadim asks, Shlo Yasani Goy. We make the bracha every morning, Shlo Yasani Goy. It's not a put down for Goyim, because we have the privilege to do the 613. They have keep the 7, go to heaven. And we have 613 ways to get to heaven. So it's not a put down, Chanoch. It's Shlo Yasani Goy. We thank God that He didn't make us a non-Jew, because we have so many more opportunities to what? To do mitzvahs. They only have keep the 7, go to heaven. But the Pri Megadim asked on source number 11, Rabbi Makshu, many ask, I'm reading source 11, Lama tikla bracha zu, derech shlili, v'loy derech chiyuv. Why don't you make the bracha Shosani Yisrael, Yehuda? Why do you make every morning Shosani Goy? Why do you make it in the negative? Why don't you make the bracha Shosani Yisrael? In the positive, God, you made me a Jew. Why say negative? You didn't make me a goy. Why don't you say Shosani Yisrael? You hear the question? V'chein v'bracha shlo Yosani Isha. What do you say? Thank God you didn't make me a woman. Why don't you say thank God you made me a man? So this is the Pri Megadim's question, Yehuda, in source number 11. Umetartzim, he says, Lefisha nimnu v'gamru, he quotes our Gemara, since Beis Shammai and his Hillel, they counted up, and they said, Toiv l'adam shloi nivra, it's a mistake, it's not Tov, it's Noach. It would be easy a person not to have been born. Al kain lo yitiknu levarech al asiyah. Therefore, you don't make the bracha shenasa adam toiv lanu sheloi nasa. So that's why you don't say, God, you made me, because it would have been better not to make me. So therefore, we make the bracha, at least you didn't make me a goy. If you had to make me, at least you didn't make me a goy. But you don't make the bracha in the positive, because Shammai and the Hillel agreed it would have been easier, what? Not to be here in the first place. Sounds kind of pessimistic and depressing, Moshe.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work it out. We can work it out. Stay tuned. Okay?
Does it say over here, we're better not to be born? I don't see the translation.
Noach, not Tov. He's misquoting. Zishal, it's strange that the Pri Megadim misquoting the Gemara. The Gemara doesn't say Tov, the Gemara says Noach. There's a big difference between good and easy. Life is not meant to be easy. Life is meant to be good, but not easy. If life is easy, that means you're not living it to the full. Should I repeat that? If life is easy, it means you're not living it to the full. Lefum Tzara Agra. The shortest Mishnah in Shas, Moshe, 3 words. Lefum Tzara Agra. Who said that? Ben Bagbag. Ager Tzedek said that. According to the pain is the gain. No pain, no gain. If life is easy, you're not gaining much. If life is tough, then you know you're gaining. Who said that? Ben Bagbag. Strange name for a Ben Bagbag. Who is Ben Bagbag?
What's his real name?
That was a code name. He was a Roman official who converted to Judaism, and they put a bounty on his head. So they gave him a pseudonym, Ben Bagbag. What does Ben Bagbag mean? Ben Beis Gimel. What's Beis Gimel? Gematria 5. He is the son of the 5. Who's Gematria 5? Abraham and Sarah. So he was called Ben Bagbag, that he is the son of the first Ger couple. Abraham got an extra hay, Sarah got a hay. So that was his pseudonym name as he went underground. So he taught Lefum Tzara Agra. Okay? So, according to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, we should celebrate our birthday because in exchange for one temporary year of life of Chaya Shah, we have gained Chaya Olam. The Gemara says, Misha Torach be'erev Shabbat, Yochel be'Shabbat. Someone that works on Erev Shabbat, he will have what to eat on Shabbat. What is Erev Shabbat, Chava? This world is Erev Shabbat. Right? So if you work on Erev Shabbat, you'll have what to eat on Shabbat. But if you waste your time here, then Nebuch, when you get to Olam Haba, Nebuch Twilight Zone. Unfortunately. Right? Let's look at source number 12. Shama and Hilla, they counted. Only 248 positive, 365 negatives. The 248 positives equal the 248 limbs of the body, and the 365 negatives are for what? How many days in a year? 365. Right? So reading source number 12, they counted up, yes, Rasha says they counted the mitzvot. Shahalavin yotem yaseh. The negative commandments are more than what? The positive. Valkein hiskimu, and therefore Sham and Hillel both agreed. The Gamru loima shloi nivra adam b'shulatzma. It would have been better a person not to have been created. The yotoy yotoyv lo shloi nivra ki yokorev lehefsid, because it's very easy to stumble. Machmas halavit. It's very difficult to avoid the 365 negative commandments. Shem Rabim. And only 248 ways to do good. There are 365 ways to do evil. So, Chav, it looks like the deck is stacked against us. Should I repeat that? It looks like the deck is stacked against us, and therefore, it would have been easier, not better, not to have been created. But now that we're here, we what? Have a lot of work to do. Right? Look at source number 12 in English. The Rasha understands Minu v'Gamru differently. That the rabbis counted the mitzvot. Given that there are more negative mitzvot, which could cause people to stumble, than positive ones, which would give them merit, they therefore concluded, who did? Shammai and Hillel, that it would have indeed have been better, not easier, better for Jews not to have been created. Jews. What about non-Jews? Look at this incredible footnote. Number 5. You ever wonder, Chava, why the only birthday in Tanakh is Paroi? The only birthday that's mentioned in Tanakh is a non-Jew. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Today is your birthday. Why is the only birthday in the Bible a non-Jew? Well, let's read footnote number 5. You want to read that, Chava? The Munkacher Rebbe.
The Munkacher Rebbe used this idea in a...
Which idea? Of why only a non-Jew's birthday is in Tanakh. Pharaoh, why? In a speech he delivered,
in honor of the birthday of the then president of Czechoslovakia, he pointed out that it is not customary for Jews to celebrate birthdays due to the principle of Noach lo le'adam shelo nivra.
It would have been easier not to have been created. However,
since non-Jews only have 7 mitzvot and are thus more likely to succeed, there is an inyan to celebrate a birthday.
The only birthday mentioned in Tanakh?
The only birthday mentioned in the Tanakh is that of Paro.
Okay, so the Munkacher Rebbe used this idea of why the only birthday in Tanakh is what? Of a non-Jew, because they have it easier, Avram. They cannot mess up 365 ways. They can only mess up what? 7. We can mess up 365. So therefore, it's a numbers game. So therefore, the only birthday celebrated in Tanakh is of a non-Jew. Keep the 7, go to heaven. And but for us, it's much more difficult. So for us, it's not what? Such a celebration. But the Lubavitcher Rebbe said that's for a Rasha. For a tzaddik, it is a celebration. And Baruch Hashem, va'amech kulam tzaddikim, Aram. God tells Isaiah chapter 60, va'amech kulam tzaddikim. All of your nation is what? Tzaddikim. The Mishnah says, im loy achshav emotai. If not now, when? Right? A person says, I'll start my diet tomorrow. I'll start Daf Yomi tomorrow. I'll stop speak Lashon Hara, Avram, when? Tomorrow, right? But the Mishnah says, no, im lo achshav, ematai. If not now, When? Because tomorrow may never come. Tomorrow will never come. And this idea of tomorrow, you find it coming up when Amalek attacks us, says the word machar. Soon, I don't want to scare you, soon Chav will be reading Megillat Esther. When Esther confronts Haman, the Amalekite, she keeps repeating the word machar. What's with this machar?
Future.
Amalek attacks us, Moshe Rabbeinu says, we'll go fight Amalek machar. Esther and Haman, the king says, tell me what you want. What does she say? Machar. So this is, who is Amalek? That's the Yetzer Hara. Amalek is the symbol of the Yetzer Hara. That's his game plan. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. So, if it feels good, do it now. I'll do tshuva machar. Right? I'll join Daf Yomi machar. And when machar, we'll say machar. That's the Yetzer Hara's game plan to keep, you got to do the right thing. You got to join a Daf Yomi and stop speaking Lashon Hara. But the Yetzer Hara says, machar, machar. Amalek is the Yetzer Hara. He keeps pushing it off, and then you realize tomorrow will never come. People say, I'll start my diet tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. So we have to be aware of the Yetzer Hara's game plan, the Amalek, not to fall for the smoke and mirrors of machar. I got to do the right thing, but I'll start my diet tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Let's go to side number 1. You see source number 5? There's an X there, I think. Right?
No, 1 is
Five is in the middle.
Yeah, source number 5 and source number 1, right?
Middle column.
Source number. There's a quote there from Bereshis. After God created the world, he said, V'hine tov ma'od. In the middle of source number 5, there's a quote there, I think it's underlined. You have it, no? It's underlined, no? V'yar Elokim es kol asher asa v'hine tov ma'od.
Yeah, I can.
Right? You see that?
Yep.
So how could the rabbis debate whether it's good for man to be created? God surveys the Bria and he says whatever he created is not only good, it's what? Tov me'od. So what are you arguing about? Hey, rabbis, take a pill and lie down. Sham and Hillel, is it good? Is it not good to be created? God himself testifies in Genesis 1, whatever God created is what? Hine tov me'od. Harei mevuar shegam bria sodam tov. Isn't man part of creation? And God testifies that everything, including man, is good. So how could you say better not to have been created? You hear the question? It's a good question, right? So to answer this question, we have to what? Ask another. The Ramban doesn't ask this question, but he asks another. How could Koheles say, Havel, Havolim, Hakol Hevel? Koheles says, why we read such a depressing book on Sukkos? Sukkos is a man Simchas Seinu, and we have nothing better to read as such a depressing book. Hevel, Havolim, Hakol Hevel. Vanity of vanity, everything is what? Vanity. Says the Ramban to Koheles, take a pill and lie down. If God said whatever he created is Tov Ma'od, it's not only good, it's very good. How could Koheles say what? How do you say Hevel Avolim? Worthless. Useless. Koheles, are you contradicting the boss? The boss said it's all Tov Ma'od. So how could you say it's Hevel Avolim? Help me.
Completely worthless.
What? Not just worthless, completely worthless.
It's twice.
But God said it's Tov Ma'od. Says the great Nachmanides. What God made is Tov Ma'od. We turned into Hevel Avolim. God created a paradise, but Nebuch, we through our sins made the paradise into what? Hevel Avolim. Right? So, this is the idea. Kodesh Baruch Hu said everything is good, and not only good, very good. but you guys messed up my beautiful world. Why'd you do that for? So Kahela says, yes, God has told Maod, we made it Hevel Avolim. With the dumb phone and the smartphone and all the shtuyot on the internet, all that schmutz, lo yaleinu. We turned the Toiv Maod into Hevel Avolim, lo yaleinu. Yes?
What about the trees that said, God, we don't want you to make our bark taste like the fruit? Before man was even created.
So how could the trees rebel? How do the trees have free will?
I don't know.
Right? Well, that's the question we have to ask. How could the trees, God said that the bark of the tree should taste like the fruit. And the tree, or the malach in charge of the tree, rebelled. The question is, how could that be if only man has free will? So how could the angel in charge of the trees rebel?
And
that's the question.
How can man be blamed? How can man be blamed if the first rebellion was from something other than man?
That's right. That's a very good question you're asking. So the Zohar explains, before man was created, the entire Bria had free will. Should I repeat that?
Yes.
Before the human being was created, the entire creation, meaning God created the world and he put angels, malachim, in charge of all parts of the Bria, right? So before man was created, even the malachim that are apportioned on God's creation, like a king appoints what? Ministers, right? They all had free will. When man was created, to show how much he loves man, he took away free will from the rest of creation and deposited only with what?
Us.
With us. Therefore, the angels were so vehemently against creating man, because they knew with our creation, use it or lose it. Therefore, they knew when man was created, they would lose their free will and become robots, spiritual robots.
So angels had free will.
Angels, before man was created, angels who were apportioned to run the Bria, they had free will, and therefore the angels in charge of the trees, they had what? The free will to rebel. But after man was created, God took away free will from the rest of creation and deposited only with man. Yes?
So explain, Rabbi, when the two angels came to heaven and about the evil and all the immorality, one chose to stay. Man
What do you
was
mean?
created. That angel came.
No.
That makes sense.
One went back and one stayed.
Who said? No. Angels that persisted in bad-mouthing man, to Gemara in Yuma, page 76, God said, let's see if you can do better. So he clipped their wings and he made them human. And they misled man into more corruption than even before when they became human.
Oh,
But they became human, right?
okay.
So that's a strange episode to begin with.
Yeah.
How can angels become human? And do we believe in fallen angels? That's very Kabbalistic and very mystical. Rav Sprecher says that what it really means, all of us are fallen angels, aren't we? We're all godly souls. And we're sent down to earth. So we are the fallen angels. It's a yerida l'tzorech aliyah. Weren't all of us malachim? Before we were born, what were we? Heavenly beings.
Yeah.
That's an angel. God forced us to come down. So we are really the fallen angels, says the great Rav Sprecher. That's what the Talmud means. We are the fallen angels, and it's a yerida l'tzorech aliyah. Sometimes you have to go down in order to move up higher and higher. Yes?
But the angels have an animal soul then?
No, we came down and we into our bodies, and we became human.
They have free will.
They had free will before man was created. After man was created, they lost their free will. But when the Talmud speaks about fallen angels, Rav Sprecher says it really means what? You and me and you. Because we were heavenly beings, and we fell to earth. God put us down here in a human body with all of our animalistic instincts in order to what? To test us,
Earn our wings.
to earn our wings. Very good.
So being a fallen angel is not so good.
We are fallen angels.
And having fallen
All of
angels
us,
is not good either.
all of us are really God's fallen angels.
So what did they
And we
do?
have to work our way back.
Right?
What did they do with their free will? How did it manifest itself?
Who?
Before God.
The angels?
Well, you see, they rebelled. The angels in charge of the trees. God commanded, look at Genesis 1, that the bark of the tree should taste like the fruit. And the Torah testifies she didn't do so. Who's she?
Come on.
The tree, or the angel in charge of the tree. How is it possible? So the Zohar explains, before man was created, all creation had free will. From man on, creation, only free will was taken from the rest of being deposited in us. If you take a look, something very strange. By the Esrik, Rashi says that the taste of the bark tastes like the fruit. Look at Rashi Moshe Pashas Emor. Pri Eitz Hadar. Why is it called a beautiful fruit? Isn't avocado beautiful? Is Manishtana that the Esrog of all the fruit is called Pri Eitz Hadar, the most beautiful fruit. So Rashi says it's the only tree where the bark of the tree tastes like the fruit. That's the only tree that did not rebel against God. The apple tree, the cherry tree, the bark doesn't taste like the fruit. But if you taste an esrig, you'll see the bark of the esrig tree tastes like the esrig. It's the only tree that the bark and the fruit taste the same, and therefore it's called Pri Eitz Hadar. And therefore, what do you do on Sukkot? You take an esrig, not an apple. Why an esrig?
It didn't rebel.
God, what?
It didn't rebel.
Beautiful. God says, Yom Kippur, you promised to be good. Put your promise into action. Make like an esrig. 5 days after Yom Kippur, Avram, we did tshuva. So we take an esrig, not an apple or an orange or an avocado, because those trees rebelled. The esrig is the only tree that did not rebel. God says, after Yom Kippur, Moshe, make like an esrig. The esrig tree obeyed. And you promised to obey on Yom Kippur. So therefore we take dafka the esrig and not an avocado or an orange, because the esrig is the only tree that didn't rebel against Hashem, and that's putting our tshuva of Yom Kippur into what? Action. We take it out. So what have we learned today? For a Russia, it's better not to have been born. But for us, it's a great joy and celebration to be born. Because one day of life on earth, Avram, we will live it properly, we exchange it for what? For eternity. For eternity. What an investment. What an investment. You take Chaya Shah, how do you say Chaya Shah in English? Temporary life, and you exchange it through mitzvahs and maasim tovim into what? Chai Olam.
It's a pretty good rate of return.
It's a pretty good rate of return. Isn't that what? Worth it. Wow.
Better than 20%.
Right? That's pretty amazing. We just read the Ten Commandments yesterday. We just read the Ten Commandments. How many letters are there in the Ten Commandments?
620.
620, which is Gematria Keter, crown. So Baal Turim says, why 620? 613 mitzvahs for us, and 7 mitzvahs for the Bnei Noach. But I don't understand, Moshe. The Shem mitzvah Bnei Noach are part of Taryag. What's the Baal Turim talking about? How come you need 7 extra letters for the Bnei Noach? Aren't the 7 Noachite laws part of what? Taryag. We also can't eat Evim and Achai. We also can't steal or commit adultery or murder. We also have to set up courts of justice. We also are not allowed to be cruel to animals. So all the 7 Noachite laws of them are part of the Taryag. So why does the Balaturim say God had to speak 7 extra letters for the 7 Noach mitzvahs? Aren't the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach part of what? Everything. So what's the Balaturim saying, Chava? The nations of the world could say, what do we chop liver? We're also God's children. How come we're out of the loop? Where are we? God made this tremendous event, giving the Torah. What do we chop liver? So God spoke 7 extra letters, said the Balaturim, for the nations of the world. They're also God's children. They also have a Tzelem Elokim. So even though the 7 Noachide laws are part of the Taryag, but if God wouldn't have spoke the 7 extra letters, the Goyim would say, I'm nothing. What am I, stepchild? So he spoke 7 extra letters, focusing that the Goyim also have a Tzelem Elokim, and God speaks to them also. How does he speak to them, Chanoch? Through the 7 extra letters of the 10 Commandments. So even though it's part of the Taryag, he had to speak 7 extra letters specifically for the non-Jews. They also have a chelik in Torah. They also have a chelik in Torah. The Talmud in Bava Kama, page 38. You can look it up. Moshe. I took my spirulina this morning. Bava Kama, page 38. A non-Jew that keeps the 7 Noachide laws, Harei Kohen Gadol. Check me if I. Bava Kama, page 38. A non-Jew that keeps the 7 Noachide laws is as precious to God as a Kohen Gadol, no less.
Which are the 7 extra letters? I missed that.
There's 7 extra letters in the 10. No, there's 620 letters in the 10 Commandments. Balaturim says, because 613 of the letters correspond to the 613 laws for us, and the 7 letters correspond to the 7 Noachide laws, and therefore the 10 Commandments has exactly 620 letters. Taryag for us, and 7 for the Noachides. What are the 7 Noachide laws? Anybody know? Moshe, it's easy. Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet, big 3. Aleph, Evim and Achai, don't eat flesh or blood from a living animal. Aleph. Bet, Berchat Hashem, don't blaspheme God and the Jewish people. Gimel, Gezel, stealing, swindling, kidnapping. Dinim, setting up courts of law. With a humane society, a caring society. Avodah Zarah, Gili Arayot, Shichas Damim. So that's the 7 Noachide laws. As Yehuda pointed out, it's not 7 mitzvahs, it's 7 categories. Under the category of Gezel is kidnapping, stealing, embezzlement, cheating. That's on the Gezel. Dinim, you have to set up a humane society, a soup kitchen, a welfare system. To be a righteous guy, you have to have judges and police. That's all under Dinim. The one, Gili Arayot, what does that include? No homo, lesbianism, incest, adultery, immodesty. It's all under Gili Arayot. And Shvichas Damim, murder, abortion, a character assassination. Killing me softly with words, killing me softly. Who sang that? Roberta Flack. Killing me softly with... So even in English it's called character assassination. Under the laws of Lo Tirtzach is the law not to spill someone's blood through slander. So a righteous Gentile is not allowed to speak Lashon Hara. Because if he does, which category does it fall, Avram? Which category? Lo Tirtzach. You're spilling the guy's blood. You character assassination. So to be a righteous goy is not so easy. A righteous goy cannot speak Lashon Hara because that falls under what? Lo Tirtzach, where you're killing a person's reputation. The Rambam says that speaking Lashon Hara kills 3 people. It kills the speaker, the person being spoken about, and the listener. It kills 3. And the Rambam says something amazing. We see that Lashon Hara is even worse than idolatry. What's the Rambam's raya? For the sin of idolatry, for the golden calf, how many Jews died? 3,000. For the sin of slandering Eretz Yisrael, how many Jews died? 600,000. So Rambam says the proof is not in the pudding, the proof is in the punishment. He says in a way of slander is worse than idol worship. For idol worship, the Jews worship the Egel, 3,000 Jews died. But for slandering Eretz Yisrael and accepting the slander, not 3,000 Jews died. How many? 600,000.
And this was
For the slandering Eretz Yisrael, the sin on the spies. When they slandered Eretz Yisrael, and we listened. And the Rambam says something very frightening. Daniel, frightening. I wouldn't repeat it, but he says it. In a way, the listener is worse than the speaker. Because if he wouldn't have an audience, he wouldn't speak to the wall. Hello, wall. Why is he speaking Lashon Hara? Because someone is listening. So in a way, the listener is worse because he's encouraging the speaker. He wouldn't talk to himself. Today you see people talking to themselves. They're speaking into the Bluetooth. Today, for crazy people, it's a lot of cover today. They're talking like this and that. They make believe they're talking to somebody, but maybe just... But anyway, the speaker wouldn't talk to himself unless he's crazy. So by listening, says Rambam, you are encouraging and egging him on. So in a way, the listener is worse than what? Than the speaker. That's pretty amazing. So if someone speaks Lashon Hara, get the heck out of there. Run. If you can't run, then the Talmud says, why did God make our fingers tailored? Stick it in your ear. It's amazing Gemara, Moshe, Nedorim. Why are the fingers tapered? Because if you can't run away and the guy won't stop, stick it in your ear. Amazing.
They fit exactly.
They fit mamish exactly. Right? Stick it in your ear. Lashon Hara, in a way, is even worse than idolatry. Maimonides points out the proof is in the punishment, Abraham. So Baruch Hashem, we are tzaddikim. We study Torah. So for us, celebrate a birthday, not just celebrate your birthday, but celebrate every single day of your life.
Exactly.
Every day of your life should be unwrapped and cherished like a precious diamond. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Wow. We are living Chaya Shah and we're trading it in for Chaya Olam. What a bargain. Avram, look how much God loves us. So let's utilize our days and make them count. And make them count. We count each day to make each day count. Get it?
For more of Rabbi Sprecher's teachings, visit rabbisprecher.com.